What's going on, Assassins? It's Darkstrider, the YouTube Assassin, and with the state of Assassin's Creed as a series in disarray at present and future, we don't know what's going to happen, but I want to take a look back at some of the older games. Now, yesterday I did Odyssey. Today I'm going to do Assassin's Creed Origins, and I'm going to give you my opinion, my feel about what it was, what happened, what I think works, and what I think doesn't work. And then I'm also going to give you the opinions that were generally from what people thought at that time when Origins came out. Alright, so without further ado, let's just get into this. So in my opinion, Assassin's Creed Origins is basically the game that saved the series. Unity, Rogue, and Syndicate were not terrible games, but for some reason they weren't as well received as a lot of the other entries. People weren't really impressed with the story, the pacing, what was going on in the present day, and what was going on in their respective timelines in the past. So that being said, UbiSoft took a 2-year hiatus, and then they came back with Assassin's Creed Origins. And it was actually remarkable, borrowing a lot of things that you would see in the Witcher series. We really think that that's where they got their inspiration for this kind of game going forward, and it kind of panned out. People were very interested in this. It was well received. It went on. People had a lot of fun with it. Now, one of the most craziest things that we've got in this game that you couldn't do in previous game were using the gear. And I apologize, I don't have the tools set there. But you could get all kinds of gear, even multiples. As you can see, this Ultima Blade, I've got 3 of them. But you can get gear and kind of put it together for your play style. As you can see, there are things that have different stats, different abilities, different powers, different, like, everything. So it kind of made the game pretty wild. It kind of gave you a new perspective on what was going on. On top of that, unlike what we've got in Odyssey and Valhalla, you couldn't change out all your gear individually. You actually had to change the suit, and they had a bunch of legacy outfits, which was pretty cool. And most of all, it had the hidden blade. You did not have this immediately upon playing the game, but you did eventually get the hidden blade. You were about level 10 when you got it, and it was actually pretty cool. They kind of lazily put together how you get it, but you got it. Now, their system, again, you weren't dealing with Templars, you were dealing with the Order of the Ancients, but in this story, it was actually an origin story for both Bayek, or the Assassins, and the Templars. The maps were pretty big. There was a lot to do. There were plenty of side quests and main quests, but unlike Odyssey, there was no grind. You didn't have to grind at all. And if you did, you got a whole bunch of extra ability points. You could fill up your whole entire skill tree and then put all the excess in Warrior, Hunter, and Seer. Seer would be, I guess, the third build, unlike what we've got today, which is Assassin, Hunter, and Warrior. But it was pretty cool. You could max out your points. You honestly couldn't max it out. You could just continuously do it into perpetuity, which was kind of cool. But you became a lot stronger, you were overpowered, or you could just be underpowered and challenge the bosses that way, or any of the fights that way. So it was really interesting. A lot of people kind of felt like this was the wrong direction because they really enjoyed what Assassin's Creed was. A lot of people had the feeling, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. And of course, Ubisoft decided to fix it. Now, there were also a lot of things in here that kind of made no sense. One of those things was that we got these errors here, which actually were supposed to be the Juno fights. We didn't get to fight Juno in this. Juno's whole big bad and all kinds of plots and everything came to an end in a comic book, which really was not fair. I would have preferred to fight her myself and stuff like that, and that's really how the community felt. But that's neither here nor there. Overall, there are a lot of Assassin's Creed purists who did not think that the game should have changed, that the game was better when you had 50 antagonists coming after you and you were able to just do like 50 hit kill streaks, which was absolutely amazing. Now you kind of had the ability to actually fight and whatnot, but it really wasn't the same. It wasn't what we were used to. And of course, whenever things like that happen, whenever change happens, people do get upset. But what I've said to people is that in order for this series to survive, it has to evolve, and that it did, and it proved its point in this entry, because once Assassin's Creed Origins came out, a lot of people jumped on board. A lot more fans came out. There are people where this is their first game, or Odyssey, or even Valhalla. And speaking of which, this one I enjoyed more than Odyssey and Valhalla, and what really sold me was Bayek's personality. He was an amazing character, he had an amazing story, he had amazing character development, the plot was pretty intense, and I don't know why, but so many people did not like his wife, Aya. They did not like playing as her. And of course, in this, there was no naval combat, which some people, again, they don't like the naval combat for some reason, and it was really good that it wasn't in here. Maybe that's why people don't like Aya, because everything mostly that you did with Aya was on the sea, and it was naval combat related. But, again, that's all a matter of preference. And speaking of preference, what is your preference? What do you think of Assassin's Creed Origins? Did it really spark you to play Assassin's Creed? Do you feel that they went in a better direction? Or do you feel that it was better off the way it was, way back in the Ezio and Altair days? I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, I really do hope you enjoyed the video. Please, by all means, make sure you like and you subscribe. That way you never miss any content. Other than that, take care, be safe, be good, take care of each other. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Again, thank you for watching.
Ya Yi!